Guys, the time has come for me to change the motor and ESC in this Scout 2 18 right here. So I'm going to put a brushless from furitek, and it's for the Ascent 18. So we're going to put this in, and we're using the FSBS6 Fly Sky receiver. So we're going to remove all this stuff in here, and we're going to put in the brushless motor. I already put Beadlock wheels from Enduro, and I put lead inside the wheels, so it's pretty heavy up front. Let me show you how I'm doing this. I'm going to take up the battery tray, remove the ESC. All right, let's get to work. All right, guys, the first thing I'm going to remove here is the ESC. Hold on my double-sided tape. I'm going to pull these plugs. There you go. And now we're going to go ahead and remove the battery tray. Hold on by 4 screws. So now we can just remove this battery tray here, remove the 4 screws, and the wires hold on by zip ties at the back here. We're just going to cut the zip tie and remove that. Doing the modification is pretty easy, guys. It's just removing stuff, you know. All right, so we got the ESC off, we got the battery tray off. Now we're going to take off the gearbox at the bottom. It's got 4 screws holding it down here, so we can get to the motor. Okay, so we get the 4 screws out. All we got to do now is lift up this gearbox. There we go, gearbox and motor. So back here, we just got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws holding this down. So I'm going to remove those screws so we can get to the motor. It looks like to remove this, we'll have to take off the piece of dry shaft right here. So Phillips screwdriver to remove this. Okay, so now we can easily pull this piece of plastic off here over the gearbox. There we go. So in here, guys, the gears are plastic. To remove the motor, guys, we have to take off all these gears to get to the screw. And we also have to remove that piece of dry shaft here because we cannot pull this gears and them off like that. So we're going to take off this dry shaft right here. All right, so now we can remove these gears. I'm trying to keep it in order, you know, so I remember how it come out. All right, so now we got 2 screws holding on this motor. We're going to remove those screws. All right, so there we go. And here we got the brushless motor. It's pretty smaller. See how small it is, guys? And we got the screws at the bottom here. We also got some screws here. I don't think the screws what comes on the original motor will work on the old one, but it's not hard to try. Okay, there we go. This piece of shaft is out here. Gonna leave that there for now. What I'm trying to get out here is a screw. All right. So what we're gonna do is try the screw, see if it's gonna fit on this new motor. And if it's gonna fit, we don't need to change it, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's screwing up, it's working, guys. But I'm gonna just double check to see the screws that they send me. It's a little bit shorter. So I'm going to go with the ones that they send to make sure we get this thing perfect. All right, so this going in like that. Yeah, we don't want to put long screws and touch, you know, because the outer body of this motor spins around. I'm going to go ahead and use the screws that they provide, which is much shorter. All right, those 2 is out. And we're going to try this short screws here. So guys, one of the cool things with this motor, it got a long side and a short side. So I guess for different gearbox, you know. So we're using the long side to put on this gearbox. All right, so I'm going to get the screws in there first. It's a pretty tight fit in there, you know? All right, so I'm going to do 1 screw first, and then we'll move on to the other one. There we go. That was easy. I'm hoping this will fit perfect by being down, you know. So now that we have that like that, let's make sure we're going to take the truck, try to sit this down in there and see how that behaves, you know. This is going to go that way. Let's get the other piece and test it out. I recommend you do that first before you close up the gearbox and you don't fit properly, you know. Because look at this on this side here, guys. Check this out. You can see that this wire is pretty close down there. So it's fitting, it's not bad. I rather it down than poking up on top. So it's pretty cool down there. All right, I can work with that. So now I'm gonna bolt it up, and now that we know it's working, we don't have a problem. All right, so let's put the gears in there. But before we put the gears, we got 1 more screw that we gotta put, guys. We have to make sure we tighten these things down. And I'm not pulling it too tight. I'm just, giving it a snug right there. All right, so we're good to go. So now we can drop the gears back in there. Put this piece of shaft back in. So here we go, guys. We have this extra piece of shaft here. And you take the gears and you put down in there. All right, there we go. It's moving smooth. And this is for this gear right here. It's for the dry shafts. So this will go that way. There we go. All right, perfect. Everything is running smooth. Remember, we take out 4 screws. Just gonna put back those 4 screws. Okay, guys, so we get it back together. Everything is smooth. And now we can just put back the dry shafts. The screws are really fine, so you gotta be careful and have patience with it, All right, so we get one piece of the dry shaft back. Let's do the other one. All right, dry shafts are back together. Everything is smooth. Now it's time to put this back on the truck. Now the motor is facing this way to the front, and we're just gonna slide the dry shafts back inside. There we go, we get one piece inside. Now let's do the other one. Right, we'll flip this over and we can get the screws back in there. So not too difficult, guys, not too difficult at all. All right, so we get all the screws back. I pull it down tight, make sure everything is nice and safe there. Gearbox with a new brushless motor, sitting really good there. All right, so now what we got to do is put in the ESC and the receiver. All right, guys, so let's get this ESC out from this box. It's got this plastic on it. Just got to remove it. Check this out. So that's the LZ Pro, guys. Not too heavy at all, pretty light. So I'm thinking we're gonna put that, what we can do, we can put it on the side here, like so. Keep the weight down low. Or we can put the battery, because this LZ Pro could take the same battery. We could put the battery on the side, like here, and put some Velcro to hold it. Because I think sitting up here was pretty high with the battery tray. So I removed that battery tray, and we can definitely put this on the side. Or we can use a smaller battery, much smaller. All I got to do is change this right here, this plug. All right, so in the meantime, let's put this together, hook it up and show you how it goes, and check it out. Make sure everything working. So your motor would come here, and the receiver, we'll put this on 2. We already have the bind plug to bind it. And then this is for your servo. Servo goes on 1. That's it. And this one here is for your lights. We can put this on 3. All right, there we go. So I'm just gonna put this together for now, and then we're gonna clean up. So the battery, plug this on. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to leave all this wires crazy for now, just so we can test it and make sure that everything is working. So guys, we're using the FlySky GT5 radio with this setup here, and we're going to bind it on channel 15. So now all we got to do is turn radio off. We already set it to 15. Turn that off, and we're going to turn the power on here. There's a switch right there. There we go. We got vibes, blinking lights. So we're going to hold down the bind button. There we go. It's bind, guys. Nice. It's pretty smooth, huh? See how slowly crawling. All right, so then we're gonna clean up these wires. All right, guys, I decided to put the receiver here on this side and the ESC right here. I'm gonna put some double-sided tape. It's pretty simple to deal with. Just lay this tape down just like that. Cut a piece off and you're good to go. Now we're just gonna peel this back end off. All right, that's it, guys. The ESC sit down pretty nice. And now we're gonna put some under the receiver. I mean, we can put the receiver all the way at the back here to keep it up high, but I'm gonna go on the side. All right, there we go. So all set there. And for the battery, I'm thinking I'm gonna put Velcro on the back of the battery and put a piece of Velcro here so that it can stay. Because it would be nice to have it like right there, but I'm not sure how it's gonna stay, guys. So I'm thinking right here. So this is what I come up with, guys. I bore a hole between the Velcro right here, and I'm gonna put that back in there like that, so that would give it some strength. And I think what I'm gonna do is glue it down. That would be able to take care of what we're trying to do. That's it. Put a nice bit of glue there. I'm gonna spread this, put this down, just like that. That should sit in a groove, easy. And the glue is pretty strong. It's glue for tire, so for rubber and stuff. So you know that's gonna hold it pretty nice, you know. All right, so now I can finish. Pull this screw here. Yep, that's it, guys. The glue hold on pretty nice. Okay, so now we can sit that battery down with confidence. It's not gonna fall off. That's it. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put a little piece of Velcro right here, so you don't move about, you know, because the battery kind of smooth. So we can drop some glue right here. That should be able to hold that Velcro pretty nice there. All right, that's it. So when the battery come here like that, there's nothing to move. It's not going to run about. It's got that piece holding it right there, guys. See that? Yeah, no skating forward or backward. Pretty nice. That hold on pretty good there. I like that. All right, so now I get everything sit down the way that I want it. We're just gonna clean up these wires. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna pull this and we're gonna use this screwdriver trick. Just twist the wire and that would coil it up so you're not going to be bulky. We'll do the same thing with this one here. And we're going to do the same thing with that one. So if we're going on 1 and the EAC going on 2. So we're just doing some cleanup, you know, make the wires look good and not just all over the place. And this one, I don't think I'm going to coil this one, you know, guys, because you're making the fool wrong, you know. So that is perfect. And number 3, yeah, that's good. And then your power, just like that. I want to keep these wires down, you know. So it's all about cleanup, guys. So now we have this wire sticking out like that. I think I'm going to lift up the Velcro and put it on in it, just like so. And this is for your power for the body. Okay, so we're looking good there. And I'm going to coil up the antenna too. And just make everything nice and smooth, you know. All right, not bad. All right, so we got battery, everything hooked up, really nice. Let's turn the power on here. Beautiful. And now we can stick this light switch on right here. There we go, guys. We got light. All right, so we all get fitted up. Everything is in place. Good to go. All right, let's see how it crosses, guys. Nice, not bad. Let's try the reverse. All right, so I gotta tell you guys, it's pretty quiet and pretty smooth. So let's test the speed and see how fast it's gonna move. Wow. It's got more power, guys. Way more power. Nice. Wow, guys, you see how slow this thing crawling? Now we can able to take it to some serious places on the rocks and walk over those rocks and side hill. So now we have weighted wheels and brushless motor. We have lots of control on this vehicle. That's how slow I can get it to go. And the beauty of the brushless motor, right where you hold the throttle, it's just gonna keep moving. See how slow that moving, guys? And now we're getting a lot more steering by using the FlySky GT5 controller. So we don't have the ESC singing anymore. Everything is nice and quiet. Wonderful, guys, trust me. Now I'm going to really enjoy this vehicle. All right, let's take it out on the rocks and have some fun, guys.